Thank you. Good morning. It's really an honor to be here and to talk to you. And I will start my presentation with few disclaimers. First of all, I will not speak on reading and books, unfortunately, despite the fact I am a big reader myself. And I also would like to apologize for being biased. I am being an AI language technology evangelist, meaning that I can preach a lot and talk a lot about these technologies. I am positively biased towards the, let's say, organic, harmonic cohabitation of artificial and human intelligence. So my apologies to those of you who are less optimistic. My presentation will cover, let's say, the point of view we at Tilde, and Tilde is one of the European leading language technology companies with 30 plus years of history. We are a very research-heavy company. We have a research team that has made 280 plus scientific publications during the last years, and so we do a lot of work on developing these AI technologies. And I will have this is a chance for me to take a look at how this new, evolving, emerging technology is going to change the life of librarians and the way the libraries operate. But before I start, I would like to set some context for you. Because, and you will see how it all relates at the end, to understand why certain technologies emerge, why certain ways we use technologies emerge, it's important to understand the underlying forces or the forces behind the development of these technologies. So let me give you just a very, very brief, let's say, list of those driving forces behind the recent developments in artificial intelligence. First and foremost, the most important factor when we talk about development of these technologies is strive for efficiency. So different reasons in the business, in the commercial world, in the business world, of course, efficiency or doing more with less is extremely important because this is what business is about. Yeah, to make any business operation profitable is very important for its sustainability, and so this is really something that drives many things, and AI technologies among the others. Definitely. So we are talking about how we can make our business processes, operational things. Also in the context of public institutions and organizations like libraries, it's very important that your processes are streamlined, because of course libraries, in most countries, to my knowledge, libraries have never been very rich. And you have to take care of how you are actually running the operation. So efficiency should matter to libraries and library people as well. The other driving force is data-driven decision making. When it comes to libraries, I believe I will show where it comes into play. But since the emergence of internet, humankind has started developing huge amounts of data, of digital data, and if properly used, data is a very important factor in making predictions, making conclusions, making decisions. So it really helps organizations, not only businesses, but also public organizations to be better at decision making. Third factor that I think is of also very critical importance is what I call total personalization. So and we are talking about a personalization of content. We are talking about personalization of goods and services. We are talking about the extreme, probably, example of total personalization is personal medicine. So imagine the future pharmacy where instead of going there with and buying, in case if you are not healthy, in buying certain brands or types of drugs, pharmaceuticals, you will get like universally, you will get printed a pill that is meant for you. So your personal pill that will contain all the active substances that are needed for you to get better. So that's kind of, in my books so far, this is the extreme of personalization. But of course, personalization also, it's basically having an individual approach to people when it comes to information, services, goods, and so on and so forth. And last but not least, important in this set of driving forces is user experience. So we live in the era where the, let's say, sustainability and success, and again, it does not only apply to business organizations or commercial organizations. It applies to all types of organizations. You cannot compete for a long time with unique products, services, technologies, and because somebody will copy it fast, will find financing and develop something faster, better, cheaper, maybe even add more functions to this. And what remains as a critical factor of sustainability and competitiveness in this era is user experiences that we provide. And this is not only in relation in regard of clients. It is also it also concerns your employees, your partners. So user experience economy is what drives technology development. One more thing to mention before I get to librarians and libraries is, so there are like three main pillars when it comes to what we call AI, artificial intelligence, or deep machine learning based technologies. There are three main components or three pillars that drive these technologies. Pillar number one is data. And data, as you will see further in my presentation, is where libraries have their special place and role. Pillar number two is algorithms, so how we are actually processing that data. And pillar number three is computing power, because these new models, these large language models or generative AI, which we are now used to talk about when we say AI, we think generative AI models or large language models. To develop, to train such models, it's unimaginably big computing power that is needed. Yeah, so a small city can be heated with the electricity that is used to train one such a model. Okay, so when I was, now let's get to the point. So this was the context. Now let's get to the point. When I was preparing for this presentation, I of course looked into World Wide Web for some contextual information, because I'm not a librarian myself. I am a linguist by my first education, so language is something that matters to me. I was No, I was not surprised, but to some extent, yes, I was. So I was surprised to find out that currently, and this is the last year's survey, quite a representative one, I should say, and it is not. It has an equal representation of United States and European and Asian libraries. So it's really kind of a global survey that in my books is quite, no, I don't know, you know better, but seemed to be representative. And the survey said that only 7% of libraries worldwide are currently actively implementing AI tools. So this is, it takes time, I understand. It takes time, courage, and resources to do that, but I think this is a very slow pace to me. But the good news is that 60+% of libraries are considering doing something, so which is a good news, yeah. And 43, almost half. As you see, I'm very optimistic. Almost half of the participants said that they are the application and introduction of AI-powered tools for their users is one of their top priorities, yeah, strategic priorities. So this is rather interesting, but I would say also it demonstrates the reality. I believe that this general perception, and I'm sorry for that, and I'm biased here, is that there are like forward-looking organizations or industries and backward-looking. And somehow libraries are perceived as backward-looking because you are preserving the heritage, the cultural heritage our printed knowledge and information from the past. But I truly believe that at this point, technology is enabling you to become also forward-looking. And I think what director of our National Library already said during her introductory speech, this role of libraries is really changing. And I will add yet another aspect to that change. Yeah, so, this survey also covered purposes of why or how this AI is currently applied. Yeah, so in most cases it's for student learning. Surprise, surprise. So young people they want to use technology while learning. So then researchers, of course, libraries play a very significant role in research and science. And the content discovery was named as third most popular AI application in libraries. If we are looking at, so what can technology offer? So what are these AI technologies and tools that are currently already available for the use in libraries? Then I will start, and this is not the sequence of importance, but I will start with chatbots and virtual assistants, or recently they are called agents. Yeah, so we are talking about AI agents. Yeah, and basically those agents can help both. They can help your customers. So people who are visiting libraries and working in libraries, and also they can help your personnel, because of course I realize that libraries are not only about librarians. There are a lot of different jobs and different roles in the way library organizations run. So, but these smart assistants, these agents can help in making your life easier. Then, of course, this libraries are holders of knowledge if I may, or our linguistic and scientific heritage. And therefore, it is natural that natural language search is something that so people are looking for information, for knowledge when they come to libraries. Yeah, so these AI tools can make this process of finding, retrieving information and knowledge much more intuitive, much more convenient for the users, and learning how to seek for information and knowledge is a very important skill. So this is also something that both librarians have to embrace, but also librarians or library people can help their clients to learn, and technology can be of help. So large part of what you do at libraries is related to catalogs and cataloging. So these technologies can definitely help in making this process faster and even more accurate. Because I think this is also something that is of utmost importance for when we talk about data and its use in AI development. The one very important factor is the quality of data. And of course, if you have printed books or handwritten books in your storage, then that is something that is very difficult for the technology to access. But once you do the digitalization of this content, it is very important that the way you how you structure this data is very important. So and AI can help you with that. And last but not least, those data analysis or data analytics tools can also help you. Because there you have a chance to collect your customer, your user data, and you can basically even align the way you buy new collections based on what your users are requiring. So that's also something that is very important. So if we are talking about, and as I'm saying, I am overly positive, but I will have some slides on concerns and risks as well. Don't worry. But so if we talk about gains, then I believe that what the technology is supporting. So number one is accessibility. Yeah, so you can use automated translation tools. You can use visual and audio assistance tools. So many of these language technologies that Tilde is also developing are serving as assistive technologies. So for people with vision impairments, we can use speech synthesis. For people with hearing impairments, we can use speech recognition. For people with some cognitive disabilities, we can use technologies that can turn like complicated text, translate it into like a more simple language. So there are lots of different technologies and tools that are serving as assistive technologies for people with special needs. Moreover, I think there is a huge population of people who suffer some kind of dyslexia, so inability to read. And I think reading is not the only modality how we can get access to content and information. So it's very important. So then convenience, of course. So libraries, like I think there is a certain Similarity with banks. Nobody goes to bank branch anymore because you can do your banking online. So the same with libraries. There are people, and myself included, who likes physical touch of a book, a smell of a paper, and sitting in the room and reading. But we have to consider that the majority of people would prefer consuming the information and knowledge that you possess in remote mode rather than physically coming to the library. So these technologies can make this convenient. This user engagement, I think it's also important for libraries. Remember this personalization and user experience, these two things. So it's very important that you pay attention what kind of data are you collecting on your users. So what do you know about your customer and how you are applying the things that you know about your customer, the data that you have collected for improving the user engagement. That's a very, very important thing. And last but not least, so I truly, and you see, I'm really overly optimistic. I think that technology can free up time for more human interaction. So use technology, but not replacing human interaction, but increasing the time that you can afford for human interaction. And I believe technology can help here as well. And now I have to be, as I said, I have to be balanced in my look at this. So, of course, there are some concerns and threats. Some of them are more real, some less. But and this is also let's say a summary of several surveys of library employees across the globe. So what they see as concerns, and one of them is job replacement by automation. Then this skill obsolescence and mismatch. So what you know, the ways you are used to work, the skill sets that you have, which is, my childhood memories of librarians are that they are people with fantastic memory, because I think someone who is so well, not at least the way I perceived my conversations with librarians left me the impression that these are people who have read so many books that but this is not enough, because use of these technologies requires new sets of skills, new kind of a role from librarians, and there definitely is a mismatch. So there are many things you need to learn. Then of course these budget-driven downsizing threats are also seen as where AI is again driven by efficiency, of course, as I spoke, as I told you in the beginning. So this efficiency pressure is there, and that might lead to some negative consequences for people working at libraries. Then this devaluation of human expertise, and I think it's also something that we shall see as a threat. On the other hand, well-equipped librarian will be will be bigger expert in my books. So you can actually increase your expertise rather than decrease it by learning how to use AI technologies. Depersonalization of services, so this lack of empathy, context, and judgment is also seen as a big threat because if technology does everything instead of you, if a smart agent is consulting and finding the right book or the right source of information for your customer, of course, there is no human touch in that. But in some cases, actually, that's fine. but the role remains, as I say. Then there's a magnitude of ethical and privacy risks related to the use of AI. This is another conference to talk about that. And then this over-reliance or over-dependence on technology. We are losing skills of critical thinking. Yeah, we are over-relying on this technology. This is also a big threat. Now, when we talk about new skills, so the list is very long, but I have outlined a few just for you to remember. So, because I was once told by somebody who was teaching me how to make a good presentation that people are not able to remember more than 3 things. So I picked 3. So this data literacy, I think it's very, very important that you understand the importance of data, where it originates, and how it can be used in the context of these new modern technologies. So it's a somewhat different view on data as just a source of information. Data is also a source of knowledge, and it's also a source of like fuel to train these smart models. Then AI system management and use of AI tools is very important. So you need to learn how to work with these tools. And I think this is irreplaceable. I think that librarians and people working at library are safeguards of ethical application of AI in the very context of what you are doing. So this is regarding the librarians. And let me also have a look of the libraries and the data. Yeah, so I think that in this modern age, as I showed you, the data is one of the most critical pillars, or one of the most critical components for development of these new modern technologies. And we on the technology side, we see libraries as like excellent source of data, and thus libraries are data providers in this regard. And just for you to give, and this is a European perspective. So this is European perspective. Tilde is a member of, is a part of this project or initiative, language data spaces. So this is coordinated or run by European Commission. And we are doing also a lot of research on the language equality. And if you look at the availability and the use of different languages or different language data in development of these generic models, apart from English, because English is, let's say, depends from model to model, but it's always over 90% of the data that is used for training these models is English data. And in the European context, maybe you can consider German, Spanish, and French also kind of somewhat represented. But the remainder is in a very, very, very bad situation. And thus, these models are incapable of, let's say, even probably those of you who have used these ChatGPT types of models, large language models for some personal efficiency needs and tasks, you have witnessed how the quality, and if you are not, if your mother tongue is not English, you have seen the improvement of the quality of language in the outputs. We have definitely seen that with almost all European languages. But the problem is that there are tasks where you need to have this cultural context. And for that also, to create, because how these models operate. So first thing what we do, we are creating some kind of meaning space, which is called vector space. So we assign certain vectors or certain values to different words that reflect how close or far they are, how frequently they are used, and so this allows us to do this semantic or contextual search tasks with these models. And if you lack like a good quality of national language data, then this context is very poor for this model. So this national language context is very poor. That's why it's very important that we take care about all the languages at least in European context. I'm only going to speak about European context in this regard. So, and if you are looking where to find like this national language data, then libraries come to mind like a #1 source. So, because you have collected over time huge volumes of data, and of course there are different. I know that not all the content that you have is digitalized. So of course there are still some issues and challenges related to that. But you are the holders of an extremely important data for language technology development. So, and European, this initiative, this European language data space, is an initiative that is actually aimed at creating an ecosystem. And I will show you the slide that should threaten you. No, but don't. No, yeah. This is how the IT developers, IT system architects are seeing this. But what is important here is that there is a role for libraries in this ecosystem, and this role is the role of data providers. We really see you as data providers. I know there are lots of concerns, not only about the availability of data, but also about intellectual property rights, many issues. I think we know, we are aware of these issues and we know how to solve them. But what is important, that this can become a new role in this future-looking library as an organization, to become this data provider that is collecting data, that is structuring, classifying, cataloging data in a qualitative manner, and then providing this data free of charge, or in some cases you can also sell this data to the researchers and developers. So but it is very important that you are part of this ecosystem. So to conclude, we definitely see AI technologies and tools rather as part of our roles for future librarians, not their replacement. So this is very important. AI can empower library staff to focus on more complex and human-centered tasks. So it frees up time rather than replaces people. AI creates more responsive, efficient, and personalized library environment and user experience to be added. And it's very important, and I would like to stress it once again. So this ethical use of AI is what libraries should stand for, and it would also help you to uphold your values. And last but not least, so libraries in the future will serve as data providers for AI developers and researchers. So this is how I see it. And to conclude my last sentence, so future-ready libraries are those that embrace AI to amplify human expertise. Thank you. I'm not sure that this format foresees questions, but if we have time, I'm ready to respond.
We do have time, about 5 minutes, so thank you, Mr. Kauliņš. I think you managed at least to make me a bit more of a disciple. You said you are an evangelist, and I think you spread the gospel of AI, but maybe also a bit of warning there as well. But are there any questions from the audience? Because I think we have a little bit of time.
Thank you for the presentation. I appreciate your optimism. I kind of need to hear some optimism, so I don't want to leave you before you give us some optimism on how do you think privacy can be a whole in the future that you envision. And also, I value that you put libraries as defenders of privacy, but I think ethics and privacy regulations are something that we fear a lot when we talk about the AI connecting with our work. So I would appreciate some positive and hope in this direction.
Yeah, thank you. Excellent question. So this is indeed one of the major risks that technology developers and product and service providers have to tackle. Is how to work with the privacy-related issues. I think we have to be. I personally see that the very concept of privacy is somewhat changing. Like, let me start from there. So the perception of being in control of your own data is changing. So if I have 3 daughters of age from 19 to 32, and I can see in how they actually perceive the privacy-related issues. But that is one thing. So the change in this perception. But if we are talking about how can we control it, then technologies also provide us tools that help us to take care of privacy. Like the simplest one that comes to my mind is anonymization. So when we talk about the use of personal data in training models, then one of the ways how to work with it is by applying certain methods of anonymization. Anonymization, pseudonymization, replacement. So there are different ways how we can tackle this. This is one way. Another way is that we do not let, and again, the technology allows us to keep the private data, sensitive data, within our control, so within the AI infrastructure of your, say, library. So we are developing models that would allow you to store them, to host them locally in your infrastructure. And if you are when you are doing some fine-tuning, retraining of these models, adaptation, customization of these models with the customer or with the private data, this data will not leave your infrastructure. So that's another way how we practically, technically take care of privacy. But last but not least, I think it's very, very important also to teach our users to be more cautious about how and when and where they are actually providing their data. So this user data privacy literacy is also a very, very important factor here. So, of course, library staff should also be trained in how to tackle, manage data, but I think we also have a role, and libraries play a certain role in also growing or training or teaching people how to tackle their data. I don't know whether I responded to your question. Thank you. More questions, or we are out of time?
No,
okay.
Well, yeah, I think maybe one more question. Yeah.
About the libraries guaranteeing free access to information is very important. How do you see the effects of AI on the ability to guarantee that free access to information, considering the firm grasp of big tech companies on data and on AI?
But where do you see the threat? Can you help me with the logic here?
Well, I think the big companies are now processing data from, and maybe there will be a point that they will charge for using AI.
They are already charging.
Yeah. So how do you guarantee that we can offer free access to information and equal access to information on the problem without having to pay for our own data?
I think the problem is bigger than we can discuss it today. I know, I'm aware of it. But I think that, this is exactly what we are promoting, that there should be free data or free access to data that we should take care of. And public institutions and institutions like libraries are the ones who are like critical part of this. So we as a researchers, we also stand for openness and opening up as much data as possible. And of course, there will, again, this is really a big topic. So, but there will be a regulation that would, let's say, allow us to gain more control over the use of openly retrieved data, and then afterwards creating a product and selling this product. So basically limiting to some extent by setting up some kind of a fee or a price, limiting access to this data. It should be regulated. It's not an easy task, and it's a very difficult task. But what we should do to balance it out, we should provide, let's say, easy, convenient access to this open data, so that there is no business for those who are trying to make business out of like openly available data. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Kauliņš.